Okay, everybody. Hello. Welcome to day. I can remember this. Hold on. 935. Welcome to day 935. Now, very similar to all 934 installments prior to this one, we'll be eating paper at a particular speed, whatever speed we choose. Maybe a little fast, maybe a little slow, but either way, it's time to go. I feel like I'm the only one who likes it whenever I manage to improvise a rhyme. By the way, these are not planned. That's right. Just a natural rapper. Okay, let's go. Also, shout out to Izzy, shout out to OBS, which we're not using right now. Too much of a hassle, and I had the entire very elaborate CPR training stock photo, racially diverse people in there, which was great. Really added a lot to the experience. But I don't want to do that every single time. I want for there to be visual variety. And so, of course, my natural solution was for there to be no visuals. Yeah, whatever. I am occasionally lazy, occasionally 50%. Hello, Shy. Hello, Grace. We're going to drop our scores. My score right now, despite the exhaustion and despite the fact that, I feel surmounting expectations as day 1000 is drawing closer and closer. So that'll affect how I approach. In fact, it makes the streams worse in my head the more I'm like, well, clearly I have to go out with a bang. It makes me want to bang less. Today is a 7.2 out of 10, all things considered, which I'm quite proud of because every day we go through trials and tribulations. Today was nothing short of exhausting. But with all that said, I really think I approached it best mindset possible. Lots of play, and again, last stream I was being a pessimistic little son of a gun about my job, only because of the bureaucratic onboarding process, which I will never back down from saying that part sucks. Even the people who engage in it know it's bad. And they're just like, whatever, one size fits all rule, But this particular summer camp I'm working with, oh man, it's great. It's great. Sometimes it drags on. Sometimes there's a little bit of waiting. But dude, it feels like, even though they're relatively speaking strangers, it's to me the fun equivalent of just going out with people I know to a fun place and having a banging time. It's great. And there are, two ways to approach the job. You can either come into it with the criteria of the job in mind, and you can go about it and make the criteria of the job your new personality. That's one way to do your job. I mean, you'll get your paycheck. That's what I'll say. Or you could, do the right thing, the thing that the best counselors do, and within reason, come into the job as yourself so that the campers and your coworkers will see you as you. And, it's great because the criteria of being in this camp is tolerance, So this is a great environment for me to approach my job genuinely. And it's weird. It feels almost immoral where it's like, dude, I'm being myself and I'm being rewarded for it. If people know, go to the main channel in the channels tab and go all the way down. You can brush up on a little bit of lore if you really want to torture yourself. And you will find tons of examples of just me, doing that thing that I do where I kind of just horn in, don't gussy myself up. Maybe I should. And of course, the world. It understandably does not smile kindly upon those who do that. Although, just again, the way some people act, it's so irrational. It really grinds my gears down to gear dust sometimes. So it is very cool that's a cool environment that we can. Mr. Gecko, yes, number one, Andy's gonna die. Well, I mean, listen, those are silver lining to every dark cloud. You're gonna die, but you have the most Brian Case in parentheses Paper Eater YouTube channel live chat XP, so you get your little purple crown. I hope that makes up for the dying part. Hey folks, very politically correct. You free sometime Saturday evening? Oh shit! Sorry, I didn't respond to your thing. And my mom called me. We're gonna have to do a lot of text fallout type stuff. Okay, hold on. I love the intro. Hello, my pals. I've never heard you say that in real life. Hello, my pals. I've never heard you say that, but yeah, Saturday. Okay, hello. Hey, Dave. This is totally the first time you're hearing this, but that can happen. I'm gonna quickly check my calendar app on stream after I send this message. Give me a split second. and then we'll see if we can do something. All right, just let me take some time to sip my soda. Okay. Sent? Great. Mikhail McHale says, okay. No, it's not okay. If Saturday's taken, then I'm doomed because I actually do want to hang out with Dave. There is fucking nothing. Only paper eating and journal, whatever. So that's great. Dave confirmed. See if Dom responds, then we'll make something work. We could watch The Godfather, finally. We could watch the ultimate pretentious film bro movie. All 3.5 hours of it. It's a little shorter than 3.5 hours. It's 3 hours. We'll see. So we'll see what we can do. There's a lot of options out there, you know. I just want to show Dom it. It's like his perfect aesthetic. It's masculine. It's a bunch of Italian guys smoking cigars and shooting each other and eating spaghetti. It's awesome. Get out of here, potato. Do you know who is Tato? You're asking me names. Okay, he does this every single stream. You're just asking me about random ass people who I don't know, who only you know, and you're like, oh, yeah, no, you know who Jorge is? He's my op. Here's a picture of him. Get out of here. Do you have any other ways to start conversation? I will literally Venmo you $0 if you can find another way to initiate. Like, I don't know. Talk about yourself, man. Stop talking about your random ass friends. Nope, he says, dude, you're missing out on $0 right now. I'm out of work at 4:30. Keep it going till then. 7 minutes? I think we can do that, guys. In fact, I don't think I could get this done in 7 minutes if I tried. Again, we eat slow because we care about our bodies. Mikhail McHale says, bro, $0 is fucking nothing, bro. Bro, I've gotten $0 before. Brian, I ate paper. What was it like? Was it everything you expected? Depends on what it was. Now, people think that sticky notes is basically just paper with a sticky part on it. I've had people pussy out and eat little sticky notes. It does not compare. They put something in it. I don't know what it is, but you know how when you taste room temperature mineral water and it tastes infinitely worse than just normal water, it just tastes like shit. This is what I'm talking about. It's all bad. It's just bizarre. Also, yeah, I don't understand who wants minerals in their water. I'll just take my minerals separately and some Flintstones vitamins, okay? I got diarrhea after. No. Listen, you probably eat something that gives you diarrhea and then that was separate, okay? Listen, most people in certain particular regions get diarrhea every other day, okay? So it's fine. I get diarrhea too. Izzy's are probably more to blame than this, you know. If anything, these should be giving you constipation. Thank you, Mr. Gecko. This is what we're talking about. This is you know, a lot of people. I'm accidentally, I clicked the report button. I try to click off, and then I did the whole automatically define, and so now it's defining the word report. Okay, stop. There we go. Now we have a better pinned message. Yeah, everybody likes to say that paper eating is the source of what? Stomach cancer, esophageal ruptures. That second part actually is true, but just a lot of the assumptions about paper eating and its unintended consequences. Paul Bunyan tall tales. You guys don't even know what you're talking about. Have you ever got gut issues? Well, I mean, yeah, but it was mostly related to the asthma and other stuff all like that. Also, again, for anybody who's watching, the reason we're doing this job is I am contracted by the government to research long-term effects of paper consumption on the body. Mayo Clinic page said about 1,111 pieces. That is the amount to kill someone in one sitting through pure consumption of paper, all in one day. Now, that's cool and all, but it's not realistic. What people do, real people in the real world, real passionate paper eaters everywhere, is they eat paper over a prolonged period of time, little by little. And we're talking about stuff remaining in your body and what it does to your body over a long period of time. We're not talking about ingesting, I don't know, 100 lead ingots and what immediately happens after study's over. What happens when it comes to mercury poisoning, lead poisoning, asbestos, prions that, you know, from brain cannibalism that cause for your brain to slowly degenerate. That takes decades to happen. That's the real effects of harmful chemicals. And if we are to accurately conduct a survey, somebody needs to sacrifice themselves for science. That is what I am doing. Oh yeah, Ian. Yesterday 9.2, today's about a 7.4. I would say what's changed, but I mean both days are significantly above average. I do remember when you had your emo streak and Caden had his 9.3 out of 10, had a sandwich today. And those two opposing, it's the duality of man. It's great. Mr. Gecko says sacrifice. What can I do? I don't know what options I have on what to do. Okay, so I can channel activity. I can do that. Channel activity. Chat messages in the last year. Yeah, he's been doing a lot of fucking messaging right here. 0 timeout, 0 hides. I don't really like to put people in the virtual timeout corner. That just seems unfair. Go to channel, replace PID message, report, remove, put user in timeout. Okay, I don't want to do that. Add as moderator. Making Mikhail McHale moderator. He'll just delete every single chat from the thing. I mean, no, he'll probably be noble about it. I don't think making him a moderator would do anything, honestly. He would just start spam. He would just spam random bullshit. Well. Welcome to a new viewer. We don't have the OBS thing, so I can't give you the welcoming visual. But Anthony Oberholzer, shout out to you. Let me find a sound effect to celebrate a new viewer, by the way. I know you in real life and you're super cool, but regardless, every new viewer we get, we give you a ceremonial sound effect. That's one. And then we get a mobile ad. That's great. Okay. Get out of here. We have, oh, this one's good. Okay, we're done. Nice to see you, man. Cheers to you, everybody. If you have milk, water, any liquid, even if it's no drip nasal spray, any liquid at all, Tabasco sauce, doesn't matter. Cheers to the camera. Don't spill soda on your keyboard, all right? Just carefully give a nice ceremonial cheers to the camera and celebrate a new viewer, because every new person who's in here adds their personality, their flavor into the giant melting pot of the stream. So let's welcome a new ingredient. I got a rest. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Every person who's here, they add their own unique flair. Mikhail McHale, you always add that nice, weird little bitter surströmming flavor to our soup. Thank you. Is Dave still in here? I do not think so. He's allergic to the internet right now. He pops in, pops out, but he's watched the streams before. He's known me for like half a decade. He already knows how it is. Mr. Gecko says, I have nothing. Okay, you're so emo. Okay, so you're telling me I'm gonna die. I have nothing. It's fine, all right? We've all been in the middle of episodes before. I have no drinks. Oh. Sorry, I'm interpreting stuff only out of context because there's like multiple viewers here. I know there's a huge arc. I would totally mail a drink to you, but I think it would probably get to your place in 3 to 5 business days. So, Brian, help me escape prison. Dude, your prison seems pretty fucking sweet. They're letting you have a phone in there or a laptop or something. Even if it's a Nokia phone or a Nintendo Switch, you can access the internet. So, the way I see it, free lodging, likely free food, even if you're eating Gruel every day, and you get to fucking watch my streams. Dude, what better life could you ask for? I remember a year ago you had some interesting things to say about Dave. I'm curious on what's changed. The guy legitimately reformed himself. I talked about Dave around the time when, and I keep forgetting this, Dave keeps forgetting this, but what I told him, given all the drama, is basically I intend on letting you have your own space so you can work on yourself. He discovered a lot of things about his living situation, stuff involving his circumstances of life that these are extremely sensitive details that I'm not like, I love talking about tea, but this is on a whole other level. And it was no fault of his own. It was a life that he lived, and a lot of things involving long-term trauma that kind of leaked through, and for lack of a better word, part of my French, but it fucked him up. So he's been through a lot, and of course it never excused his actions, but dude, he already took his turn at being held accountable for an entire bloody year. And, no one's perfect, there's some moments I wish he'd be more decisive. I just wish sometimes I'm putting him through hell. And for one, I can't read people. So I know all you got to do is just tell me, dude, I want to be here. Because Normally, I kind of socially take over and I kind of drag people into stuff. I really thrive off people telling me, "I would like to work with you so we can go somewhere we both want to go." You know, it's like impossible to do that sometimes with him. Sometimes I'll be like, "You want to go here? Hell yeah, let's do that." You know, he's getting better though. I mean, there are some situations that we put him through. The whole thing with the car grifter guy. When we went to Canes, it was like literally we were going back from LA. It was already like literally like 12:30, and some guy wanted us to take him to his house, and his house was in the middle of an alley. He gave us the address. Dave looked up the address. It was in the middle of nowhere. It was in the middle of like this decrepit alleyway with like a dead tree in it. We definitely would have gotten raped and robbed, and our car likely would have been stolen. So I used the megaphone feature on my thing, and I used the big speakers on the outside of my car to just talk to him. And what's great is it pitches your voice down. So I was like, oh yeah, we decided you're actually grifting, so we changed our mind. So just get an Uber, I guess. We don't want you to rape us. Okay, bye. And we drove away. It was great. Actually, I think I have footage of that. I think that was a video that we posted on Instagram at Brian Hello on Instagram.com if you haven't already gone on there. I feel like I'm such a fucking shill, but I'm serious. It's a really cool video, so you're missing out. Wow, my posts are very few and far between these days. This is why. Yeah, it's this. Wait, Brian. Wait, hold on. Where's my? Sorry, man. Okay, so we realized there was money up front. It was placed on a vote, and the vote was 3-1 on grifting. So we guarantee you don't have the money up front. So unfortunately, you'll have to find another Uber. God bless. We love you. He's so fucking. He's like yelling, "No, but I got the money though. I got the money." So he was telling us, "I'll give you $500, but I'll give it to you when I get to my house." Oh yeah, and his whole stupid backstory was bullshit. Where he was like, "Dude, my fucking bitch, she hooked up with me, and we were totally gonna fuck and go to a party together and fuck on the couch publicly. But then she took my wallet, took my keys, took my phone. I have nothing, man, and I gotta get taken back to my house. I'm really in a tough situation, guys. Can you please help me?" That was believable. I can't. We placed it to a vote, and freaking Dom was like, "I don't know, let's give it a shot. It'll be funny." I'm like, no. I know he's circular, and it'll be funny to kind of have him try and squeeze in, and it'll be like really like I know that's a comedic scenario, but the guy, like, what our plan was? Oh, dude, we were proposing a pat down plan too, because like, what if he has a knife or a gun or something? And Dom and I were devising a plan to pat him down and check his shoes because we know that people hide knives in little compartments in their shoes, and we're gonna like grab his. We were literally like, Dave's like, "Bro, he will fucking hide something in his jock strap." The fact that we were even going into the metrics of that was probably a sign that it was a bad idea. And we're like, he doesn't have $500. We're checking the address on Google Maps, and it's literally just a dirty alleyway with a dead tree in it with no house. There's like maybe like a couple planks of wood on the ground. How old was this grifter? No older than 30, 34 or something like that. Excuse my burp. You were going to check his feet. You can hide tiny little Swiss Army knives or little miniature toothbrush shivs under there. That's a real thing you can do, dude. You're where in the city of Cheeks, Oxnard? I saw you walking down the collection. I think you're probably just someone who looks like me. There's unfortunately a really huge slew of Asian Americans moving into that area. You guys better watch out for your jobs, So just know there's a lot of fellas out there that look like me. Like in San Diego, people find my look distinctive, but when we're talking about the grand scheme, especially in an area like Oxnard, people who look like me, they 3D print another one of me every other day. So, yeah. Good call on bouncing out. No, thank you. I'm really glad that, because I know for a fact, looking back, like I thought it was funny, and I was just so caught up in how funny the whole thing was. I'm like, oh, why not? Stupid. I will hold myself accountable because of how dumb that was. So like if I were to engage with that, I most definitely would have gotten fucked for sure. Mr. Gecko, I'm going to explode. Don't. Just wait till the end of the stream. More watch time. Sorry. That's heartless, man. Mr. Gecko, you are a valued member of the community. Do not explode. You look like Elliot Roger, no offense. Thing number one, you forgot the second T in Elliot. Thing number two, I'll take it as a compliment. That gentleman, let's separate the chiseled jawline from the man behind the chiseled jawline. Sure, his actions were egregious, but And also he also had some insecurities. But you know, the guy was you know, he had a solid look to him. For one, he had less acne than I do, you know, so I'll take it as a compliment. I appreciate it. Maybe it's my camera, you know. If you were to see me in better lighting, I'm sure I'd look like somebody else, you know. How should Elliot be spelled? Well, oh shit, yeah. Sorry, he also missed the second L. Actually, yeah, let me test this out and see if this looks right. That also looks right. Maybe there's just 3 types of Elliots. Just that first one with Elliot, with 1 L and 1 T. It just looks wrong. It doesn't look right. Okay, we're gonna crack our back. Ooh. Excuse me. People get freaked out whenever I do that. They think I'm like slowly. I'm like breaking my back, but Elliot sounds like a caveman insult. Elliot. Yeah, that does sound like a slur. Hard T right there. You look like good content. Hey, don't fucking say that, man. Okay, just don't. That guy is an internet menace. The more you bring him up, the more his violent actions and his terrible, horrible worldview will be publicized. His conspiracy theories. Just Jesus Christ. But thank you. Yeah, no, it does sound like a caveman insult. Listen, we are not expected to be perfectly grammatically correct here at the paper stream. It's a stream where I eat paper. So don't worry. I can decode generally what you're saying. And yeah, but it does sound like a caveman insult. How do we put user in timeout? Hide user on this channel. Yeah, there we go. Fuck you. I'm about to remove your comment. Ian30 is now a standard moderator for you. God damn it. Are you fucking kidding? I just fucking made you I clicked the wrong button. You got to be shitting me. I just fucking... All right, whatever. We're going to have to live with that. Ian, be responsible, okay? Ian, if you screw something up, I'm going to have to fucking go into the settings. But for now, you're the moderator. Be responsible. Thank you. You should wear pro clubs and Dickies. Jesus. Maybe you should wear pro clubs and Dickies, huh? Why don't you try it? Why do you want to see me in your preferred brand of underwear? Fucking guy. You will look drippy. You know, I'd like to think that it's because you care about me and you want for me to look good. Thank you. He used to delete his own comments. Now he deletes everyone else's. Okay, gotcha. I won't be bad. Well, just know you're the Duke. I'm the king. All right. So if you act irresponsibly, trust me, checks and balances will be in place. The totally responsible, non-corrupt dictator will simply gently lift you out of your place of authority. But Ian, you're a pretty chill guy. In fact, I trust you a little more than I trust someone like Caden to, you know, do something like that again. And I even trust him. I trust him that he probably wouldn't even do anything with his moderator position. Also, as a moderator, you don't really get to do that much. Like, if someone really comes in swinging wildly, you know, then you can choose to remove them. But here's the thing. When someone comes in and does all the things that would be a reason normally for a streamer to want to kick them out or have a moderator do something for them, normally I like that. And I normally go along with if a bully comes in or someone trash talks, that makes things infinitely more fun. That invigorates me. So in my opinion, there is no need for moderators. And Ian, you just... Your name is blue and you have a funny little wrench emoji now next to you. That's the only thing that's really happened here. Oh, excuse me. ATM. People say ATM machine all the time. Actually, no, they don't. It sounds normal, but now that I think about it, yeah, it doesn't. How do I skadoosh you, Mr. Gecko? If you, I think right click and then there's like hide user, all the options. If you remove him, I'll remove you. But you know, you get the idea. That I'm just answering your question. You know, like I have literally created. This is the equivalent of what is his name, dude? I can't believe I don't remember his name. His name is not Fernando, the guy who was assassinated leading to World War I. Did I tell you, have I talked on stream about the insane conditions surrounding that assassination? You guys best understand what I'm talking about because you guys know how World War I started. It was a particular vehicular assassin. Yes, Ferdinand, or yeah, Francie, dude, the lore around that's crazy. So I watched this YouTube video where it was talking about crazy historical coincidences. Perhaps some of you have also seen it. But if anybody hasn't, I'll just tell this story. I'm going to try and be a good storyteller here. So we all know the story of the revolutionaries. They wanted to kill this guy, but because security were on their shit, Ferdinand was particularly hard to kill. They would have to get lucky. They tried throwing dynamite at the car, but it literally bounced off the car. And this is literally what happened. Excuse me. This is literally what happened. Bounced off the car, went back into their vehicle, completely fucked them up. Didn't kill them, but it messed their car up and injured them. And one of the dudes just left. And he was like, this operation's over. It's not going to work. This guy's not going to get killed. He has like 12 security guards around him. So he left and walked about a couple blocks down to a food place to eat some food. And then the Franz Ferdinand vehicle, they decided to turn back to, if I remember correctly, either confront the other assassins that tried to, because they were apprehended. They were apprehended, and this one guy basically ditched them, and he's like, dude, this assassination is not going to work. Fuck this. Eating food at food place. I don't know, just like Milton's sandwich shop or something. I don't know what existed in the 1900s or whatever it was. He's eating a couple blocks down. They decide to go back to the area where it happened, where the apprehended revolutionaries were, the initial group, and confront them or talk to them or make a political gesture of like, we forgive you. You're super cool, typical politician thing. The driver who's in this car makes the wrong turn, and they turn onto the upper block where this revolutionary who gave up and just decided to chill out and eat food is. This guy is eating food, then he sees Franz Ferdinand's car coming again. Made the wrong turn. He sees a very rare window of opportunity, pulls out his gun, shoots Ferdinand and his wife. They both die minutes later. That's what started World War I, which consequently started World War II, which consequently started the entire Cold War, which basically created all the circumstances that we're living right now. A single wrong turn on a road. Now, obviously, if you think in the grand scheme of things, and no one is a stranger to the butterfly effect, it is a very mainstream chaos theory phenomenon, but it is still crazy to think about. When people think about Adolf Hitler, who has now become, I don't want to say a household name, but yes, he is a household name in, a very particular way. The way, like, Hitler's entire life and his choices as a dictator were formed by his experience in World War I, nearly dying. His experience, the trauma that came with it. Yeah, he was a goofy guy from the get-go, but all that stuff is so fascinating to me, all because this revolutionary decided to eat at like some shawarma sandwich store or whatever, and then the driver of Ferdinand's car fucked up, took the wrong turn. Who knows where we'd be right now? It'd be impossible to predict. Anyways, that's what's really cool. I always love that story. Don't eat paper unless you're professional. Thank you. Thank you for legally protecting me. Not only if they go through the transcript of this video, they'll find evidence of me dissuading people from killing themselves using, inedible object consumption, but also the live chat contains evidence of this too. I'm glad we're covering all our bases. Okay. In school, we were told the sandwich part of the story wasn't proved, but it's a really good story. I believe proof was further confirmed. There were some eyewitnesses that were, they're all dead, but there were some documents that were unveiled. I don't know, I never heard the word allegedly in the source that I found. That story sounds like a story. We got some historical skeptics over here. Interesting things can happen in history. Yeah, again, I don't know if it's entirely confirmed. It might be bullshit. But again, we cannot deny that the initial conditions surrounding that assassination were very dubious. These guys were playing a gamble game, and they had to get lucky. And so the fact that, yes, to some degree or another, they certainly did get lucky. I do think on how just everything really boiled down to that assassination. And if the fact that it was successful, it really... it created our modern world. Life really is a movie sometimes. I don't know. Look at Kennedy. That's further forward, though. The conditions that created Kennedy were the conditions caused by the Ferdinand stuff. What caused the unrest in that country, that led to Ferdinand's assassinations. Then you have other events to go back to. It all goes back infinitely. I'm doing it's really silly, very stupid, but I like this. I like this project I'm doing where I'm compiling chronologically in order my 20 favorite movies ever. And I tried to keep it down to 20 and refine it. Like I wanted to keep it at like maybe 16, but it was impossible. So I had to kind of, where is it? I thought I screenshotted it. I'll have to just go to the app and just go on there. Hold on. All right, we're going to the app. Thanks, Camera Roll app, for nothing. I know I screenshotted it. Oh, here it is. In order. And so I wanted to find a way to base all these movies in the same cinematic universe. Like the events of this movie causes this movie, this. And I ironed it out. I've had to make a couple stretches here and there. And if I were to go through the whole line, like unless any of one of you really wants to hear the whole spiel, a murder happens. Minor spoilers, I guess. I'm gonna try and like I feel like everyone's seen or understands these two movies, right? And by the way, fuck all of you. Mary Poppins is a cinematic masterpiece. I will die on that microscopic hill. It's not even that much of a debate. I feel like everybody agrees that that's a good movie. But thank you. But yeah, the verdict flips, right? Stuck jury from guilty to innocent. And that becomes a big headline. And and this kid is not exactly Caucasian, right? He's a minority, if you remember the movie. And it's not really about his race, but it's really just about people in general. He just so happened to be a certain ethnicity in the movie, if I remember correctly. If you go back and watch the movie, which I've seen it 3 times. So it becomes a news headline. Boy from weird Skid Row adjacent crime infested region gets pardoned for crime because jury randomly flips. Of course, people think that it's the world turning to shit, and the world's dangerous out there because there's criminals and bullshit and villains out there, and it creates paranoia, and it becomes an international headline. One of the paranoid people who decides to raise his children based off these ideals of paranoia about the outside world and adhering to responsibility and absolutist rules for the sake of rules is a man named Mr. Banks. Mr. Banks hears about the flipped verdict from 12 Angry Men, and he decides that it's bullshit, all right? And he's going to raise his kids to establish a different world, a world filled with more responsibility, where things like what happened in this first movie don't happen, blah, blah, blah. Yes, canonically in the movie, magic exists because we have to make it work. If there's movies and they're all combined, and I'm telling you, I really am fascinated with how I was able to connect all these together. Some of them, when it gets down here with like Old Boy, Eternal Sunshine, and No Country, to link those together, it gets very complicated, but I make it work, right? For another example, all the way down here, right? Hereditary to Parasite, right? What happens at the end of Hereditary, the deaths, it becomes a national case. We'll call them the Graham family murders. And everyone starts investigating into it. How did all of these people get decapitated, set on fire, destroyed, schizophrenically thrown out of windows? How did all of this happen? Regardless of whether or not King Payman's a real thing, one of the people who decides to, travel to America to study the Graham family murders, because a lot of college forensics majors are analyzing the details of the crime, because people are training, say, for governmental jobs. One of the tutor, right? The math tutor, or no, the English tutor, right? The school tutor of the rich high school girl makes the decision. And he says, and I rewatched the Parasite movie, and he stated, I'm just moving to America to study abroad. He didn't say what he was studying, so I made it so that he's studying the Graham family murders from here, right? And again, none of this was intended. I only organize these chronologically based on when the movie was made. There Will Be Blood is really a stretch because we're like jumping time periods, but that's the thing where I kind of have to ignore it, right? So I can't tell what's on your phone, but thanks for showing it. No. This is a list of my favorite movies ever. Right? It's just the movie posters, right? So, yep. Thank you. So, yeah. Anyways, this is one of those things that is fascinating, like only to me. But I like it. I like being able to link things together. It's a fun thought exercise, Mary Poppins is the best. That is the coolest thing by far that you've ever said, Mikhail. Thank you. Would you kill baby Hitler? That's a thought experiment that I'm not even gonna like entertain. Excuse me. The Thing. That is a very good movie. Very Tarantino of you. I only have 2 movies, the, 94 one everyone talks about, but also Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is, in my opinion, really his best movie ever. And I know it's not like as fun or as explosive as like Django Unchained, but for one, Django Unchained is his most overrated film, in serious need of some editing, a lot of self-masturbatory dialogue scenes that really didn't need to be there. You could say that there's a lot of stuff in Once Upon a Time that's just random or unnecessary. I think it serves the purpose of establishing the kind of weird, paranoid yet optimistic time period, and you're anticipating these murders happening. But then, when the ending of the movie happens, I think it's one of the most feel good movies, and I think everything leading up actually plays into it. There's just a lot of stuff from Django that's just like, oh, it's another scene where we're looking at how fucking cool this dentist character is, and he's just talking more. And I'm like, I get it. It's not like the actor's doing a bad job, but it's just, I've seen it before. The first scene nailed it home, and I don't need more of it. But they all have something. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think all 15 minutes of Bruce Willis's wife talking about how she has a potbelly kink. Like, I know that it's weird, and I know that, weird is cool, of course, but how does it help the movie? It's just her randomly going into shit. I mean, with that one, it's anticipation as well. You're anticipating, the gangsters showing up after he stiffed Marcellus, but still, I feel like that is definitely one of those things where he was just testing. Can I write this and Weinstein won't flip out? And of course, Weinstein flipped out about everything. There's an interesting podcast episode where he talked about how with the ear scene from Reservoir Dogs, Weinstein was like, dude, if you just get rid of this one scene, this will become a movie everyone will love. And it's so funny. And also when it came to the treatment of women or the sexualization of women in his movies, Weinstein, of all people, was the guy who'd come up and be like, don't do that. Don't show her boob like that. It's so bizarre. You'd be surprised the people who are the real offenders are not the ones who, are provoking as much as they're the ones trying to cover stuff up, Cannot movies just be for entertainment? Yeah, I know, right? I don't know why it has to be so mass appeal focused. I mean, that whole thing involving The Thing getting completely stiffed and people just fucking lynching John Carpenter for making that movie when E.T. existed. I don't know. I think that's the perfect example of misplaced priorities when it comes to the masses on movies. Because I know what the more entertaining movie is, but people at the moment were truly in the middle of the Cold War. They were already bummed out, but I don't know. I think it's about suspension of disbelief. I mean, anything that hits too close to home, because it is about paranoia, and everyone was supposedly paranoid back then. I don't know. I wasn't alive. Yeah, I love The Thing. No, I mean, it's on my list, but it's crazy to me how dismissive people were of it. If you go back to 82 and just like look at the reviews for that movie, dude, people took big, gigantic bowel movements on that movie. It was really depressing, and it messed up. Like, John Carpenter was getting ambitious, and he was really coming into his own as a director. And The Thing was, in my opinion, it could have been one masterpiece out of many for him. But his confidence, and what really determines your performance is your confidence. His confidence was so shattered by what happened in response to The Thing coming out that he basically kind of became a much more hesitant and intentionally campy director. If you look at like I don't know, his film They Live, right? You can tell that he's just gussying everything up in a bunch of overly performatively ridiculous stuff to kind of cover up for the fact that like he still thinks in the back of his mind that he failed with The Thing, which to me was his boldest effort ever. And he's such a talented guy. When he tries, he does succeed. But people just didn't understand it. They trashed it. His confidence was shattered, and he never operated at that level again. And it's very sad, but whatever. They Live fight scene. Yeah, and it's good. It's good. But I mean, if we're talking about a holistic piece, a holistic movie, I'm here to chew ass and kick gum, and I'm all out of ass. Night chat, 1 a.m. here, and I have work tomorrow. Geez, you're screwed. I'm so sorry. I hope you have work after 1 p.m. It was a pleasure having you here. Cheers to you, Grace. Hey, Rex, do you like any Jenna Ortega movies? I've stayed away from that stuff on purpose. I remember I saw Beetlejuice. I loved every aspect of it except for the boring boyfriend bullshit storyline with Jenna Ortega. Like I think my review of that movie was literally delete Jenna Ortega from this and you have yourself a great movie. I'm not even lying. Yeah. I'm sure she has some good performances. I just have not stumbled upon them yet. I love green apple. I love green apple flavored thing. Me too, man. Me too. It does beat Izzy peach flavor. I think it's there are just some things where Izzy really gets very close to just tasting like sparkling water, and I'm like, I bought soda for soda. I paid extra price for the fructose, so don't double cross me, Izzy. Yes. Okay, you think she's annoying too. Thank goodness. That's great. And yet you catch my streams. You probably watch me more than Jenna Ortega. Dude, get her out of Hollywood. Get me in there, man. Oh man. Um this is the last piece, everybody. I like talking. Wow, 41 minutes, so long stream, but we are at the end of the tunnel. Everybody, thank you so much for watching day 935. Thank you, Mikhail. You made my day a 7.2 out of 10, which is exactly what it was before. But hey, there is no score decrease. That stands for something. You're a cool guy, and you're actually adding to the chat. You know, you're actually asking me questions that I feel like I can bounce off of. You know who Nicholas McDonald is, or something like it? Like, I don't know. I don't know who he is. I do not care to know. But thank you for asking me different questions. Stuff I can actually go off of without going to Google, which is great. And you say Mary Poppins is the best. It is 9th best, but yes, it is. It's very good. Everybody, thank you for watching. I will see you tomorrow. That'll be day 936. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye. All right, goodbye.